Archaeologists excavating a Roman-era tomb in Egypt made a discovery that does not fit anything they had catalogued before. Inside the wrappings of a mummy roughly 1,600 years old, resting directly on the body's abdomen, they found a folded papyrus fragment. That alone is not unusual. Ancient Egyptian mummies from this period sometimes do contain sealed papyri placed as part of a burial ritual. What is unusual is what was written on it. Instead of the magic spells or religious formulas archaeologists expect to find in that exact position, this fragment contained lines from Homer's Iliad, specifically a passage from the section known as the Catalogue of Ships. Researchers are calling it the first confirmed case of a Greek literary text, rather than a religious or magical one, deliberately placed inside an Egyptian mummification ritual. Let us sort the signal from the noise. Get the specifics right before the speculation starts. The discovery was made by the Oxyrhynchus archaeological mission, led by researchers from the University of Barcelona's Institute of Ancient Near East Studies, working at Al-Banasa, Egypt, the site of the ancient city of Oxyrhynchus, a location already famous among historians for preserving an enormous volume of ancient papyri in its dry desert conditions. The mummy was recovered from Tomb 65 in one of the site's excavation sectors. The papyrus fragment itself preserves lines from Book 2 of the Iliad, the Catalogue of Ships, a lengthy passage listing the Greek forces and their commanders who sailed to fight at Troy. It was folded and placed directly against the body's abdomen, in a position the mission's own archaeologists say they have documented before. Just never with this kind of text inside it. Here is what makes archaeologists genuinely excited rather than just mildly interested. The Oxyrhynchus mission has documented other Greek language papyri placed in the same abdominal position on other mummies before. And every single one of those prior examples contained magical spells or religious funerary texts. Material clearly meant to protect or guide the deceased's soul into the afterlife. That was the established pattern. This is the first time anyone has found secular literature, a poem about a war between mortal men, occupying that exact ritual position. As the mission's own directors put it, until now they did not know that ancient Egyptians of this era would have used literary texts as part of funerary ritual at all. It suggests the boundary between religious and literary text may have been far blurrier in Roman-era Egypt than historians previously assumed. At least for whoever prepared this particular burial. This kind of find rests on careful, unglamorous verification work. Dating a mummy and its burial context. This precisely relies on multiple lines of evidence together. The archaeological layer and surrounding artifacts at the tomb, the burial style and materials used, and the handwriting style of the Greek text itself. Since Greek script changed in identifiable ways over the centuries and specialists can narrow a papyrus's age from its lettering alone. Identifying the text as the Catalogue of Ships specifically required matching the surviving Greek words against the known text of the Iliad, a poem copied and recopied so many times across antiquity that scholars have an extremely well established reference version to compare fragments against. None of this happened in a single afternoon. The excavation season that produced this find took place in late 2025, with the papyrus analysis continuing into the first months of 2026 before the mission felt confident enough to publish. Here is what remains genuinely unknown. Archaeologists have confirmed what the papyrus says and roughly when it was placed, but they have not confirmed why. The mission's own researchers are explicit that they are still studying the find and weighing multiple hypotheses, not presenting a settled explanation. It could reflect the personal taste of whoever was buried. Someone who loved Homer enough to want the poem physically close to them in death. It could reflect the beliefs or profession of whoever performed the embalming. Rather than the deceased, it could be evidence of a broader, previously undocumented practice that historians simply have not found examples of yet. Since this remains a single case, resist the urge to build a large excavation to a deceased Homer superfan or a lost secret ritual. Before the researchers themselves have. One extraordinary find is real evidence. But it is not yet a rewritten history of Roman-era Egyptian burial customs. Quick recap. Archaeologists at the ancient site of Oxyrhynchus found a Greek papyrus fragment from Homer's Iliad's catalogue of ships, folded and placed on the abdomen of a 1600-year-old mummy. In a ritual position previously documented only with magic or religious texts, making it the first known case of literature used this way in Egyptian mummification. So, signal or noise? Signal. This is a well-documented, carefully verified discovery from a serious academic excavation. And it genuinely does expand what historians know about ancient burial practices. Noise. On any claim that we now understand why it was placed there. Because the archaeologists leading the dig say plainly that the meaning is still an open question. They are actively researching. The honest headline is not a solved mystery. It is a fascinating new one. Subscribe for the history discoveries checked against what the researchers actually claim. Signal from the noise. Every week.